Opening the true gospel of Jesus, called Christ, a new prophet sent by God to the world, according to the description of Barnabas, his apostle. Barnabas, apostle of Jesus the Nazarene, called Christ, to all of them that dwell upon the earth, desired peace and consolation. Chapter 28. How Abraham met and had knowledge to knowing God. That's the chapter about. So let's start. When everyone had departed from the temple, the priests closed the temple and went away. Then Abraham took the axe and cut off the feet of all the idols, except the great god Baal. At his feet he placed the axe. The statues made for the true being old and composed of pieces fell in pieces. Thereupon Abraham, going forth from the temple, seen by certain men who suspected him of having gone to thieve something from the temple. So they laid hold on him, and having arrived at the temple, when they saw their gods so broken in pieces, they cried out, saying, "Come quickly, O men, and let us slay him who has slain our gods." There ran together about 10,000 men and priests, and questioned Abraham the reason why he had destroyed their gods. Abraham answered, "You are foolish. Shall then a man slay God? It is the great God that has slain them. See you not that axe which he has near his feet? At his feet? Certain it is that he desires no fellows." Then arrived there the father of Abraham, who was mindful of the many discourses of Abraham against their gods, and recognized the axe wherewith Abraham had broken in pieces the idols, and cried out, "It has been a traitor of a son of mine who has slain our gods, for this axe is mine." And he recounted to them all that had passed between him and his son. Accordingly, the men collected great quantity of wood, and having bound Abraham's hands and feet, put him upon the wood, and put fire underneath. But lo, God, through his angel, commanded the fire that it should not burn Abraham, his servant. The fire blazed up with great fury, and burned about 2,000 men of those who had condemned Abraham to death. Abraham truly find himself free, being carried by the angel of God near to the house of his father, without seeing who carried him, and thus Abraham escaped death. Then Philip said, "Great is the mercy of God upon whoever loves him, Tell us, O Master, how Abraham came to have the knowledge of God. Jesus answered, having arrived near to the house of his father, Abraham feared to go into the house, so he removed himself some distance from the house and sat under a palm tree, where being by himself he said, there must be a God who has life and power more than men, since he makes men, and man without God could not make men. Thereupon, looking round upon the stars, the moon, the sun, he thought that they had been God. But after considering their variableness with their movement, he said, it must be necessarily that God does not move, and that clouds do not hide him as they hide the planets. Otherwise, men would be reduced to nothing. Remaining thus in suspense, he heard himself called by name, Abraham. And so, turning round and not seeing anyone on any side, he said, I'm sure I heard myself called by name Abraham. Then, 2 other times in similar manner, he heard himself called by name Abraham. He answered, who calls me? Then he heard the voice say, I am the angel of God, Gabriel. Abraham was filled with fear, but the angel comforted him, saying, do not fear, Abraham, for you are a friend of God, when you broke in pieces the gods of men. You were chosen by the God of the angels and prophets, such that you are written in the book of life. Then said Abraham, what should I do so as to serve the God of the angels and holy prophets? The angel answered, go to the font and wash yourself, for God wishes to speak with you. Abraham answered, how should I wash myself? Then the angel appeared to him as a beautiful youth and washed himself in the font, saying, do the same as this, O Abraham. When Abraham had washed himself, the angel said, go up to that mountain, for God wishes to speak to you there. Abraham ascended to the mountain as the angel had instructed him, and having sat down upon his knees, he said to himself, when will the God of the angels speak to me? He heard himself called with a gentle voice, Abraham. Abraham answered to him, who calls me? The voice answered, I am your God, O Abraham. Abraham, filled with fear, bent his face to the earth, saying, how shall your servant, who is dust and ashes, hearken to you? Then said God, fear not, but rise up For I have chosen you as my servant, and I will bless you and make you increase into a great people. Therefore, go from the house from your father and of your kindred, and come to dwell in the land which I will give it to you and to your seed. Abraham answered, I will do everything, Lord, but guard me, so that no other God may harm me. Then God spoke, saying, I am God alone, and there is none other God but me. I strike down and make whole. I slay and give life, and lead down to hell, and bring out thereof, and no one is able to deliver himself out of my hands. Then God gave to Abraham the covenant of the circumcision. And so our father Abraham knew God. And having said this, Jesus lifted up his hand, saying, To you be honor and glory, O God, so be it. Amen.